Hey, Retro Questers, it's Cerulean Spirit, your go-to retro gamer with a passion for epic quests. Welcome to the Gaming History playlist, where today we're diving into the video game crash of 1983 to 1985, when gaming nearly vanished. Picture shelves stuffed with terrible games, Atari's epic ET flop, and a market in freefall. We'll unpack why this crash happened and how Nintendo saved the day. Comment. Ever played an Atari 2600 disaster? Let's jump into gaming's darkest hour. Let's set the scene. By 1982, the video game market was pure chaos. The Atari 2600, with 30 million units sold, was king, but it faced a flood of rivals. In television, ColecoVision, Atari 5200, even clones like the Odyssey 2. Imagine walking into a store and seeing a dozen consoles, each with its own games, none compatible. Many games were on different systems with no standards. Total confusion. By 1982, 50 new games hit shelves monthly, way more than players could buy. Retailers couldn't keep up, stacking unsold cartridges like a bad Pac-Man port. This oversaturation overwhelmed consumers who didn't know what to trust. Unlike the curated Nintendo games roster we love today, the market was a ticking time bomb ready to implode. This chaos led to our next cause: zero publishing control. Unlike Nintendo's NES seal of quality, Atari let anyone make 2,600 games. Some, like Activision's Pitfall, were awesome, with crisp platforming that feels like today's tight controls. But low-budget flops like Airlock, a glitchy mess, flooded stores. Games hit every console, from Intellivision to ColecoVision, with no standardization, confusing players, no polish, and unplayable. By 1982, retailers faced shelves of shovelware, discounted to pennies, devaluing gaming. This free-for-all killed quality, pushing the market closer to collapse. That brings us to the heart of the crash: bad quality games. The Atari 2600's blocky 160 by 192 graphics and 128 colors were stretched thin by 1982. Take Pac-Man's 1982 port. Flickering sprites, clunky controls. Third-party developers churned out junk like Chase the Chuck Wagon, literally a dog food ad game. Without Nintendo's later quality checks, players got burned by titles that barely worked. Stores slashed prices to clear inventory, eroding trust. No wonder players ditched Atari for something better. Now the crash's poster child, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Atari rushed this 1982 game in 6 weeks to cash in on Spielberg's movie. The result? Confusing pits, awful controls, and 2.6 million unsold cartridges, some buried in a New Mexico landfill. Atari lost $100 million, and ET became a symbol of failure. Hype couldn't save it, players hated it, and retailers gave up. This disaster crushed consumer faith. ET showed quality matters, a lesson Nintendo would soon master. Zooming out, the 1981 to 1982 US recession hit hard. With high unemployment and tight budgets, families couldn't afford luxuries like the Atari 2600, priced at $199, about 600 Canadian dollars in 2025. Gaming felt like a splurge. Disposable income dried up, and parents prioritized essentials over consoles. This economic squeeze made retailers wary, cutting orders for games already struggling with quality issues. The recession wasn't the main driver, but tightened the noose on an oversaturated market, pushing gaming to the brink. Then, home computers swooped in. By 1983, the Commodore 64, dropping to $200, offered 320 by 200 graphics and 16 colors, leagues above Atari's blocky 2600. Games like Ultima 3 delivered deep RPG stories, outshining Pac-Man's simplistic chomps. Computers doubled as school tools, making them a better buy than consoles. Piracy also hurt, letting users copy games for free. Stores like Sears swapped Atari for Commodore, starving consoles of shelf space. This competition crushed consoles. Finally, retailers and publishers collapsed. Stores like Toys R Us, drowning in unsold Atari cartridges, abandoned video games entirely. Publishers like Atari and Mattel faced massive losses. Atari alone dropped $536 million in 1983. Retailers shifted to computers and developers stopped making games, leaving the US market dead. Unlike The Legend of Zelda's tight NES launch, the crash showed what happens without control. This fallout was the final blow, turning gaming into a ghost town until Nintendo stepped in. The crash was apocalyptic. Console sales crashed from $3.2 billion in 1982 to $100 million by 1985. Atari nearly went bankrupt, arcades faded, and retailers swore off games. Japan's Famicom thrived, but the US was a wasteland. Then, in 1985, Nintendo's NES arrived with Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda. The NES's seal of quality and lockout chip ensured polished games, selling 3 million units by 1987. As a geek, I love the NES's 6502 CPU. The crash taught quality wins over slop. That's the 1983 to 1985 crash, gaming's darkest hour. From ET's pits to Atari's collapse, it nearly killed the industry, but Nintendo's NES brought it back. Retro questers played any Atari 2600 flops? Hyped for Zelda's comeback? Comment below. Subscribe for more gaming history and retro adventures. Thank you.